Welcome everybody to another patch notes breakdown. This time we have the Netherbeasts 11.3 update here for Smite, and we're going to start off with several different things that are announced over the course of the past week. Smite 2 Founders Editions. If you've not checked this out, they show the 30, the 60, and the $100 edition that give you access to those closed alphas, along with getting some badges, some Ascension passes, which they explain in the video, along with some cross-gen skins as well, depending on which level of the Founders Pack you pick up. First and foremost, there's the Fallen Zeus, part of that ultimate $100 bundle, which is going to be a tier 5 Zeus skin in both games, along with Night Stalker Neath, which I believe is in the $60 edition. So you can check those out in the video, but you're going to have that both in Smite 1 and in 2. Then we have the cross-gen calendar event, which gives you the Embalmed Anubis. Along with that, we have the Netherbeast event, giving us a new Chalk, Kerberos, and Kernanos skin. And then the new Battle Pass, which is going to give us a new King Arthur Nuwa skin. And then we have the Death Squad chest, which has Loki in it. The new Slasher Loki looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And then our new Immortal honor skins, which are going to be the Cosmic Executioner Thanatos, which I always enjoy these cosmic skins, and the Bionic Overload Odin skin. You can check out those as normal. We have the calendar event, the other beast event, all good stuff there. Newt is going to be available in ranked. They're bringing domination back. There's going to be a little bit of a scoring change as far as holding objectives. There's going to be speed orbs to help you get to that action quicker. They redid the collision for the whole map. They changed the spooling, the stand guardians, the whole nine. So make sure to go check that out. Love domination. It's always a fun mode to play in between conquest matches and things like that. So you'll be seeing me playing that a ton over on Smite Game or over on my own channel, so make sure to go check that out. They give us a little bit more time on the Joust map from 45 to 60 seconds. Duel, they went ahead and unbanned a lot of gods, but they banned the first 38 gods ever released. I kind of like that change, just a funny way to do bans. They said they're going to keep it spicy, and they are not here to disappoint. Then we have some changes here, 2 items. So, Envenom Executioner, the anti-heal and anti-shield effects now stack. So it gives you 4 stacks, and you can do 10% on the anti-heal, 12.5% on the anti-shield per stack. Mannequin Scepter will now always heal when killing a jungle camp, whether or not it has the burn applied. Wing Shard's getting a decreased cooldown, along with Vision Shard, both going to 90 seconds instead of 120. I think that's good. I don't know if that's going to increase their pickup rate. I think the passive shards are just really good, but I hope it does. Soul Eater, an item I've already been picking up, because if you're not playing Ability Hunters, Chiron, or AMC, or Martichoris, you're missing out. So Soul Eater, they're increasing the power by 5, going to 30. The physical power in the evolved state's going from 15 to 20. So make sure to check that out. Soul Eater does feel pretty good. Ability Hunters feel really good, and you'll see why later on in this patch as well. Book of Thoth getting decreased magic power from 70 to 60. This has been a main staple for mages. Not too surprised to see this change. But now we have some switches here as far as pin goes. Enchant Spear is getting 5 pin added onto it. Spirit Desolation is getting a little up in power from 70 to 80. Divine Ruin going magic power 70 to 75. So a little nice power bump. But then we have things like Cursed Orb. We're losing the percent pin and getting 5 pin instead. Doomore losing that 10% pin, getting 10 flat pin. And getting a little bump in power by 5. Ra Tahuti plus its glyphs are getting a little extra power by 5. And Charon's Coins getting extra power by 10. And then we go to Soul Gem, increased magical power by 80, and Spear of the Magus, magical power from 75 to 85. So just nice little bumps in power, either between 5 and 10 for those magical items. And that includes Demonic Grip. My favorite spicy item change is Sphinx Bauble, because I love this item, and I think this item was good if you picked it up on Squishies, considering that you're losing like prots in the grand scheme of things, which if you're going to die anyways. But now you're going to they remove the protection and healing self buff or self debuff. So now you can just build 50% cooldown at no cost to you besides an item slot. I think we're going to see this a lot on supports. I think it's a fun item. If you have not played 50% Giannis cooldowns, I suggest it. I think it's fun. Keep an eye out for Sphinx Baubles in your game. I expect it to be on the rise. Now we have our standard god balance here. Standard god balance, if I could talk. Chronos decreased the cooldown of stop time. Now it's going to be 16 to 14 seconds. Sorcat gets a decreased cooldown on Cobra's Kiss for 14 to 12 seconds. Hell gets an increased protection reduction, now scaling 5 to 25 on Hinder. Guan Yu increased his healing, now scaling 40 to 120, boosting that healing across the board. It's going to feel really good. I don't think this brings Guan Yu back into the fold. Okay, Hell, seen a little bit of Sorcat. Kronos, I think, isn't that great. But Guan Yu has not been in the solo lane that often this season. I don't know that this brings him to the fold, but it definitely makes him feel at least a little bit better for those team fights. Bacchus, giving belly flop increased damage, now scaling 90 to 270, so just kind of bumping it in for late game. Give him a little bit extra help here. But now we have some quality of life adjustments. Some adjustments that may be a little bit spicy, but really trying to help either the animation flow or just fixing a God's kit in general. So you might hear me mention animations a few times here. I'm not going to say it every time. I'll just mention animation change, basically, for that God. But Chiron, now not only can he fire his autos during Giddy Up, he can fire Masterful Shot during Giddy Up. They also fixed his animation on Centaurus to be a little bit more accurate. Chiron already feels good. If you're not playing him in ADC, you're probably playing him in mid, but if you're not playing him in either, you're really messing out. Like, God's good. Definitely pick him up. Kali is getting now whenever her passive's up on the screen, you can go through and still move while that passive selection's up. Heimdallr is getting a reduced the time Heimdallr is locked in place, like if he misses his ult, so he can go back into the fighting a little bit easier. Charon, fixing some of the animations with the autos, but then you get Ferryman of Souls. You now can increase your max health from instead of 350 to 998 with his passive. And then Spectral Surge, animation fix. Sobek, Lurking in the Waters, can now go under player-made walls. Sick. Sobek's can be picked. Sobek's already good. Sobek just got better. Poseidon, Whirlpool, the time is activate, now match better with the FX. Cuckoo is getting animation fixes for basic attacks, but then Whirlwind, the time to activate now better matches the sound effects, and they decrease the scaling per tick to 15% instead of 17. So, and Zephyr increased the cooldown from 7 to 8. This is a nice little nerf to Cuckoo without taking him completely out of the play, because I think right now he's one of the better mages, but I think this kind of brings him back in line. I think that's okay. I think that's good for the game. Ymir, Glacial Strike, your camera is no longer locked while firing. And then Frost Breath, your camera is now unlocked while firing that ability as well. Scotty is finally getting the change I asked for. Animation fixes on the basic attacks. I can live with that, okay? Calder is getting fixed. If you had played Scotty and you throw him out of camp and you're like, oh my god, he just dies, especially with the Unleashed camps, now Calder can take 5 instances of damage from any minion source before losing 1 of the 5 health. And this does not include jungle bosses. So this is good. This is good for Calder. This is going to bring Scotty to the forefront. I've been talking about ability-based hunters already in this patch notes breakdown. That, yeah, Scotty's there. You should pick her up. Cupid can now gain 2 stacks when hitting a god for Love Struck. Jingwei is going to get knocked up less on her Persistent Gust than enemy gods. Fafnir is now lockout time while landing has been reduced and also affects his transformed ability. So those will be good. Both those. Tiamat, they give Tiamat will always respawn in flying stance no matter how she died, which I think is just good for consistency. Bastet now may cancel this ability for Pounce. I think that's just awesome. You can cancel it. You don't have to worry about clicking it and flying back when you didn't want to. Freya may now cancel Irradiate. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know. And decrease the cooldown to 8 seconds instead of 11. Freya might be on the rise. You might see some more Freya for sure. I think this is a really good change. Humbats, they improve the teleportation response of Sacred Monkey, and they fixed animations there. Artemis can now spawn traps slightly faster, which is going to be good. Zongqi, Book of Demons, the damage and now stunning time better matches the animation. Medusa, animation on Acid Spray. Sylvanas, basic attack animation, but also fixing the Nature's Grasp animation as well. Kurnos getting animation fixes on his basic attack and Bramble Blast. And then we have major god changes. First of all, E-Set. All right, they fixed her animation on her basic attacks, but then Wingust, this ability animates and fires approximately 25% faster. The projectile speed of this ability has increased by approximately 5%. This is going to feel pretty significant on E-Set. Do I think this is like busted and going to bring her to the top of the meta? No, not necessarily, but I think E-Set's already in an okay place. And I think this just makes her much more viable. Terra, let me tell you, Terra is going to be so good. Force of Nature you now have as an ability from level 1. It does not deal damage. It's on a 20-second cooldown until you put a point into it. And the mana cost between the ranks is unchanged. But you get Force of Nature from the get-go, which means you have that dash that compiles onto those other things. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Terra's going to be playing support, y'all. Just you wait. You're going to see a lot of Terra. Better ban it. That's all I'm saying. Cthulhu, the Mire. Cthulhu no longer channels this ability, meaning the portal will grow and fire on its own. Cthulhu's cast time has been reduced by approximately 75%. One of the biggest hindrances for Cthulhu was that when you cast the Mire, like you get that nice slowdown, you're like channeling it, but now you just cast it, and you just get to move away. I think Cthulhu obviously is countered by Kins, that's a problem, but overall, I do think this is a great change for Cthulhu, and we will see him more in the solo lane. Agni, basic attack animation fix, and then Rain of Fire. If you remember the Anubis and Hebod changes where they could, move during certain abilities, Agni's following that same treatment. Agni can now move while firing his Rain Fire. I think this is going to be really, really good. Does this make Agni busted? No. Are people going to complain about it? Probably. It just makes him more fluid. It's just going to bring his outdated kit up to the, more standard kit of now. I think that's good for the game. I think that's good for Agni. And Agni was always considered the pinnacle of like mid-balance, so I'm excited for this change. Zeus, Chain Lightning, the firing time now better matches with the animation. And then Aegis Assault. Zeus may now refire this ability while it's active to put it on cooldown. Any enemies hit by the initial seal damage now also gain a charge. So you throw it out, they get a charge automatically. I think this is going to be good for Zeus. I think Zeus is already really good in non-conquest modes. I am curious to see, does this make him come to the forefront in conquest? Overall, I think this is great changes across the board. Odin, another one of those gods, is getting some pretty spicy changes, and I think this could affect him drastically. First of all, Raven Shout. The ability no longer deals bonus damage if the shield is full. Instead, it always dealing the bonus damage if it's active when Odin lands his lunge. So as long as you have shield on you when you land, you're going to deal the bonus damage. Doesn't matter if it's full or not. Gungnir's Might. This ability no longer has a second rune, which would cause Odin's spear to home onto enemy gods. This ability now only pulses twice, which either provides the attack speed buff or the stun when the spear is thrown. The total damage from the pulse has been split evenly among the two. The fire spear now provides minion knockback, and the firing time of the spear now better matches the animation. So this is a little spicy. You don't get that homing one anymore, but you either get attack speed or stun. And I think those were really the two that we're seeing used most often. So now we're just going to reduce that time and spread it across equally with the damage on the. And overall, I just think this is really good for Odin. I think Odin was already in a decent spot, and I think this just makes him more fluid. And that's what I like to see with the old gods. Getting more fluidity in their kit is really important, because you want to see the older gods still played. And this is what's really happening. We've seen sprinkles of it throughout the other patches. We're getting a lot of that here, and it makes me really excited for what we have to come here in Smite 1 while we're waiting on Smite 2. Arachne, Cocoon. Arachne no longer needs to hit consecutive basic attacks to stun the enemy. It just requires 3 successful basic attacks on a single target. So you don't have to get them 1, 2, 3. You can get one, and then it might take a minute, or not a minute. It may take a second or two to get the other two. And you're going to get that stun, which is going to be good. I don't know that Arachne needed that, but Arachne is Arachne. Some people will say she's OP, some people will say she's garbage, so take that as you will. Jing Chen, Smoldering Rage. We know how much I love Jing Chen here. I'm a Jing Chen supporter. I love this. I love any change that he gets that makes him just a smidge better and hopefully brings him into the meta. Smoldering Rage. Jing Chen now gains 5+1 per level temporary maximum health per stack. Jing Chen now inherently has uncapped HP 5. Uncapped HP 5. I'm excited. Shiva, Pillars of Dawn. The first part of this ability functions like a regular dash, allowing Shiva to slide along walls, but no longer stop short. And then Shiva now gains the damage mitigation while dashing, in addition to when he's inside the pillar. So it's going to make him a little bit more consistent. You don't have to worry about those dashes getting stopped by a wall. Overall, I think this is good for Shiva. Athena probably has one of the craziest changes that makes people upset, but if you ask me, Athena is one of the craziest banned gods in comp and ranked, because people just don't want to deal with how much she can move around the map and how much she can do to set up team fights. So this is kind of mitigate that a little bit. Preemptive Strike is going to hitting an enemy god no longer grants a block stack, instead granting a stack of 60% damage mitigation against next instances of enemy basic attack damage. Reach also grants a damage mitigation stack when hitting an enemy god once per attack. So you're not going to get that block stack, you're going to get damage mitigation. I know I was talking about this last night on the Smite game channel, and I know some people are going to be upset about it, but this is going to make it feel better for people playing against Athena. It just is. And I know that sucks, but Athena's been really, really good for a while. Shield wall is going to get decreased slow from 20 to 15% overall. I think this is good for the game. I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because some people are just going to expect not to take any damage and they're going to take a little bit. Overall, excited for the changes. I'm excited to see where we're going here in Smite 1. I appreciate y'all staying around for this long in the video. I'm Blaze, and by the way, gems are on sale right now. You can go to nexusgg.com/BlazeMcBain and buy some gems and support the content. I'd greatly appreciate it. Y'all take it easy. Make sure to check out Twitch and TikTok for other content, and I will catch you on the next patch notes breakdown. Later, y'all.